It is mailbag time here on NBA Now by Chat Sports. You got the AGT squad with you, Harrison Graham and Chase Sr., ready to answer any and all of your questions. So load them up, hashtag NBA or Super Chat. Let's get things started with BG Brody. Does Wiggins or Poole get moved this offseason? Of course, talking about the Warriors there.
Yeah, interesting question and a good question because you have a good feel of that Warriors roster. Andrew Wiggins, after this year, has one more year remaining on his contract. Also, after this year, there have been some rumblings about the Warriors signing Jordan Poole because he's eligible for a contract extension to a deal worth in the neighborhood of 4 years, $80 million.
Yeah.
If you're Golden State, you probably have to pick between one of these two players, Wiggins or Poole. Poole gives you more offense. Wiggins gives you more defense and a little bit of offense. So it's going to come down to team philosophy and team fit. I'm not sure the Warriors are going to be able to afford both of those players. Let's say Poole gets $80 million. I don't think Wiggins is going to get another fat contract like the one he's currently
probably
on.
Get 20 plus, though.
When he's making around $35, $36 million, but he's going to get paid.
Let me ask you this before we get to our next question. What do you make of this Poole starting some nights? I know this has been a storyline for the Warriors, six-man, because the numbers show he's better when he starts. Yeah. But then once Clay came back, you put him back on the bench, that type of thing. Would you start him if you're Steve Kerr? It's tough even when Draymond comes back. That makes it even harder.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Okay.
Yeah, I do value second units.
All right. Say Oganubi.
Shea.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Shea Oganubi.
The OG. Yep.
Shea OG. That's that. Hey, we'll just
Shea the OG.
Shea the OG. There we go. Do you think that Vucevic doesn't get enough credit for what the Bulls, what he does defensively? He's never been known as a defender, but I do think I will say this, Chase, because I've watched the Bulls a little bit more this year, having covered the Chicago Bears as well here at Chat Sports. I think Vooch has at least understood this year that he's not playing with the Magic anymore. This is a team he can actually win with. So he's at least taking more pride on that end. He's always been a good rebounder. He's giving more effort on that end. He's just not gifted athletically to stay in front of really good offensive players. But I do think his rebounding ability and effort has been more noticeable on that end, but he's never going to be a great defender. I will say this. I think he deserves credit overall in general. One, he's played a lot better over the last couple of months. He started really slow this year. And two, kind of taking a step back from being used to being easily the best player on his team to being like, I'm the third best guy now, behind Levine and DeRozan. So I think his selflessness has been important. I mean, think of a Kevin Love, a Chris Bosh with those super teams back in the day. You can't always be the best player on your team if you want to win a championship, and that's something that the Bulls would like to do.
Yeah, does he have effort defensively? Yes. Can you call him a good defensive player? No. Anytime he goes up against a player like Joel Embiid is, Vucevic's pops. He has him in his pocket, and he's able to completely own him. So Vooch as a defensive player, it's never really been his calling card. It's never been his strength. Has he put more effort into that area of his game this year? Yes, I think that's because he hasn't had as much of a role offensively.
Yeah, it hasn't been atrocious, which is an upgrade. Who's going to the NBA Finals this year? Maybe you think it's the Bulls. You can give us a team from the East, a team from the West. Right now, I'll say the Suns and the Sixers, but I think there's about 10 teams total that could end up making it. Let us know who's going to win the finals, who's going to make it. Let us know in the comments. Lakers all day, dope. Says, when the Lakers trade Westbrook in the offseason, do you think the Lakers get Wall or a young playmaker? I mean, look, they can keep saying that they want to find a trade for him, and we've seen in the past, you can trade any contract.
Yeah.
But how many suitors are left for us? I mean, who is going to take him on and without wanting a first-round pick as well to take on that contract? That's why they didn't trade him at the deadline, Chase. The Rockets said, we'll take him if you take John Wall, but you got to send us a first as well. And the Lakers said no. So they got to take that same trade this offseason?
Yeah, why would you say no at the NBA trade deadline? And then after the year, Russ wants out. We want to trade him. Let's try to get John Wall again.
Why would you waste a year of LeBron? Exactly. They might as well have just tried it, honestly.
That's why a lot of the things that the Lakers have done over the last calendar year plus
18 months
hasn't made sense. They had an opportunity to get Kyle Lowry at the NBA trade deadline last year, and they wanted to keep Talen Horton-Tucker. Then they signed THT to a $30 million contract. Yes, Kyle Lowry got paid by the Heat, but if you could have had Kyle Lowry, he's a better player and a good player alongside LeBron James. You could have gone after DeMar DeRozan. You decided not to. You had Buddy Hield deal done. You didn't pull the trigger. You went after Russell Westbrook because of the influence of LeBron and AD, and now there's this?
You could have had Lowry, and yeah, you would have had to pay him, but you traded for Russ's contract.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have cost that much. You would have had a few.
It's like they've tried to make up for their mistakes.
Yeah,
but they should have made those decisions at that time.
They overcompensated when they traded for Russ. It was just an absolutely poor decision. Spread the word, because NBA Now by Chat Sports can now be watched on Rumble. The link is right there, rumble.com/NBA Now. Rumble, also a video content site. Chase, like you always say, we're versatile here at this company on different platforms. We like to get our content out to tons of different audiences out there. And if you want to go check out Rumble and us specifically over there, you guys can do so. Rumble.com/NBA Now. You can also find political commentary, news, finance, business content creators as well. Lots of different stuff you can find, censor-free as well.
Yeah, just like there's a couple of different social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, OnlyFans. There isn't just one platform for videos either. Rumble is yet another platform. We're really excited about the partnership. Check us out there. Give us a follow. Rumble.com/NBA Now.
You a big OnlyFans guy?
I was thinking about starting one my own.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
A lot of people, I think, would pay me for my services.
That's two big news. We're on Rumble and Chase is on OnlyFans.
Jokes.
Check that out. Chatsports.com/ChaseOF.
I'm really edgy.
As a Knox says, who would you pick to win the East, the Sixers or the Nets? We're obviously trolling there.
How about neither? For me, I like the Miami Heat.
I keep saying the Sixers. If KD comes back and he's balling, and as much as I like to dog on Kyrie, if he becomes a full-time player, they're going to be hard to beat, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you have KD in the span of a 7-game playoff series, him and James Harden almost beat the Milwaukee Bucks, the eventual NBA champions, in the second round of the playoffs. If KD's shoe size was a size smaller, they might have won the NBA championship.
Yeah,
and that was without Kyrie Irving and with a hobbled James Harden.
Very hobbled.
Now you might have a full-strength Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons on the floor.
Maybe he comes back. Maybe.
So, yeah, KD in the span of a 7-game playoff series,
you're always going to have a chance.
That's scary hours right there. If you're the Sixers, you do not want to play him in a playoff series.
He's just an assassin.
He could haunt you.
He's an absolute
best
assassin.
player when healthy in the NBA right now, in my opinion.
And I mean, he's the only guy where literally any night he can give you 50.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just that good. Who's won in the East? Type PHI for the Sixers, BKN for the Brooklyn Nets. If you think it's going to be someone else, comment below. I mean, look, the Heat, you got – hell, the Celtics are playing really well all of a sudden. Milwaukee deserves credit with the way they've played coming off a championship. So let us know who's going to win the Eastern Conference. All right, we got time for a couple more. BG Brody, hashtag NBA. We'll get to one more after this. Who gets traded first, Zion, Brad, or Damian? Well, Bradley Beal apparently wants to re-sign with Washington. I don't know why.
That's a disgrace.
I just,
Go somewhere where you can win and compete for championships. You're not doing it in D.C.
I mean, Dame
Sorry, Wizards fans.
Dame's kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Although
Brad Stevens kind of likes Damian Lillard, huh?
Yeah. We'll talk about that. I respect the loyalty to a certain extent, but at some point I'm like, do you want to win? Like, especially if you're Beal. Like, at least Dame's made a conference finals. He sniffed winning.
Yeah.
The Wizards have done jack shit.
Yeah.
Like, him wanting to stay there. And he's talking about, we got size now with Kristaps Porzingis. Yeah, enjoy the 42 games a year.
Right.
Because that's what you're going to have to get used to. I watched it for 3 years in Dallas. He's had a bone bruise for a month, and he still can't get on the floor. So it's unfortunate, but it's just a fact. All right, John Nolan's going to get the last word here. As a Heat fan, I don't really want to see the Sixers in the playoffs because of Joel, but I feel like a lot of the other teams in a small ball lineup, we match up very well. What do you think? I think the Heat match up well with a lot of teams. Why? Because they go about 10 deep, and Jimmy Buckets in the playoffs is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I know Joel Embiid has the size and weight advantage on Bam Adebayo, but I want to take a look at his numbers since he came back from injury. He's been spectacular. So this is going back to January 17th. This is a 20-game sample size.
Adebayo?
He has been averaging, 19 points per game, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, a block and a half. He's shooting 54% from the floor. Bam Adebayo is a very good player.
He's a great defensive player.
I understand that Embiid has that Olajuwon finesse to his game and can overpower cats like Shaquille O'Neal. But Bam is a really good defender who's extremely athletic.
Yep.
And I think the Heat actually might have the advantage on the Sixers in a couple of areas. Mentally tough, coaching, defense, and depth.
Yeah. I mean, look, for the Sixers, it's going to have to be Harden and Embiid. You know, like hopefully Tyrese Maxey plays like this in the playoffs, but we don't know. He's still a young player. So, yeah, I think the Heat can match up with just about anybody. Subscribe to us here at Chat Sports. If you love the NBA, we got the best coverage here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Link is below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Myself, Chase Sr. Hey, we'll probably crank up some watch parties come playoff time as well.
So
stay tuned for that. You know, we'll throw on our play-by-play caps once again. So subscribe and stay tuned for all that.